Now picking up from where we just left off, let's look at everything that we've done so far. The first thing we did was create titles and also bullet points for each of the slides. Next, we did a background for each of the slides. Then we did the animation of the text for each one of these slides. Now, of course, you all will have more slides than I do because I only did 4 and you have 9 questions on the questionnaire. So what we want to do next is this here. We want to go to the slideshow and see how it looks. So we click on slideshow and then we click on from beginning. Now if you notice, it just appears here. Our slide just appears, but we have to hit either the mouse or spacebar in order for us to proceed. Now if you're using a mouse and I say spacebar, you know that you are to click on the mouse when I say click on the spacebar, or vice versa. Okay, so now we're going to click and we have the title. Click again, we have the name. Now we click one more time, we go to the next slide. We click, we have the title, then we have the day and month. We also have the city and state, and we also have the mother and father's first name. And all of these are activated by clicking. We click again, we go to the next slide. Click again, we add a title. We add the first bullet point, name of the school, and then now we have the second bullet point, the name of the favorite teacher. By clicking here, we click again, we go to the next slide. We have our middle school. Click again, we get the name of the middle school. Click again, we have our favorite teacher, who in this case is Mrs. Givens. Now, I stopped at slide 4. If you went on and did up to, I guess it was slide 9 or a little bit more, then if you want to stop right here as I stop, you could press the ESC button. So it will stop and then you will go to the original screen. But since I have stopped it at slide 4, if you went all the way down to your slide 9 and then you press the space bar one more time, you will get this message, end of slideshow, click to exit. That is what happens when you get to the very end of your particular slideshow. So I'm going to click it. Now we come back to the page that we was originally on before we started the slideshow. Now what I want to do, I want to create a little bit more excitement with these slides. I want, when we go from one slide to the next, I wanted to show some type of animation. So I want to click on the first slide here and click on transitions, because what we want is the transitions of each one of these slides. So we click the down arrow. Now myself, I like to use the animations from Exciting. To me they seem much better. So with this first slide, I'm going to click on doors. Okay, that's the transition for the first slide. Click on the second slide. Go down here. I'm going to click on clock. That is the second slide. For the third slide, press the down arrow. I'm going to go with honeycomb. Okay, the fourth slide, down arrow, and then I would pick shred. Now you can make these as exciting or more so maybe to your teacher's preference. Like some teachers may not like all of the exciting transition of the slides. You may need to go a little bit more conservative, which is fine. Okay, now let's see the difference in between the transition of slides from the first time we went to the slideshow to now that we've made the alterations. So we'll click on slideshow and click on from beginning. Now you see this slide already comes in with an animation, but you still have to click to get the title and your name. Now we click again. You notice that it transitions from the other slide to the second slide. Now we click again here. we get the title, and then we keep clicking and get our 3 other bullet points. Now when we click the 4th time, you notice here there's another slide transition. A lot more exciting than just the slide just popping up. So we click, we get the elementary school, the name, and also the favorite teacher. And now we click here, and here's our next slide transition. Now that was very nice. So we click here, get the title of our middle school, the title of the page, which is middle school, the name of the middle school, and the favorite teacher. And then we get to the end of the show. Now that we've done that, now there's one other thing I would just say myself that I don't particularly care for. When I transition from one slide to the next, I would like for the title to come in as the slide is transitioning. So let's try that, and that would be basically the last thing that we would do here, because remember, this is a basic setup for PowerPoint, like adding pictures, sound, and everything like that. I'll create a more intermediate video, but this is just to get you started. So let's click here on the first slide. Okay, now I want you to go over here to this animation pane. Now I want you to click here on number 1. Now if you notice, when you click on number 1, you see this down arrow. Press the down arrow. Now if you notice, what is in orange is this here, start on click. That's highlighted. But in order for our title to show, because our titles are number 1, let's click start with previous. Now what will end up happening is, like, we could play a preview here. We could press play. Oh, it doesn't show the slide transition. Typically the play would show the slide transition, but it didn't here. But we would see it when we go back to the slideshow. So let's go here to the second slide. Remember, we're trying to get the titles to show up when each slide transition. So we click on number 1, we click our down arrow, we click start with previous. We can go to number 3, click on number 1, click down arrow, start with previous. Click on number 4, click on number 1, click the down arrow, click on start with previous. Now let's go and look at the slideshow. Click from the beginning. Now if you notice here, this came up. Now I haven't clicked on anything. The slide came up with the animation and then the title, My Life. Now you will click either the space bar or your mouse, and now you will have your name. Now when we click here, let's look at what happens when we go to slide 2. Now if you notice here, it transitioned and the title came up. Then we'll click 3 more times, and then on the 4th time we'll go to the 3rd slide. Here's the honeycomb, and then the title came up, and then you will click and you will see the name of the school, name of your favorite teacher. Click the space bar again, the slide transition, and you get the title to come up, and then you click for the rest of the information on that page, and then you click and it's the end of the slideshow. Now as far as your basic PowerPoint setup, this is about as far as I will go. The only reason being is I don't want it to get too complicated, but with this here you could basically do any type of slideshow that you may have assigned to you. Now as far as adding pictures or anything like that, we can get to that on a more intermediate PowerPoint video. And I would say thank you for your time and your effort.